The objective of the labor inspection is to further strengthen the implementation of the visitorial and enforcement powers under the Labor Code as renumbered towards securing a higher level of compliance with labor laws and standards and ensuring continuity and sustainability of compliance at workplaces. For this purpose, the Department of Labor and Employment delegates this function to the regional offices with the issuance of a list of labor inspectors who are given the authority of conduct inspection, which covers all private establishments, including their branches and workplaces in the regions. The regional offices enforce labor laws and social legislation through the conduct of labor inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, and technical and advisory visit. Special inspections may be conducted as may be deemed necessary. With the provision for mobile devices and gadgets, the DOLE developed an inspection management information system. An important feature of the system is data capture and transmittal from the field in real time, as an electronic checklist is filled up through the use of mobile devices and gadgets. Data are instantly available for viewing and processing to generate reports, statistics, and summons, including real-time monitoring of decent work indicators based on the country's decent work profile. Technical and Advisory Visit. The TAV, or Technical and Advisory Visit, aims to provide assistance to the micro-establishments, or establishments that have 1 to 9 employees, to be sustainable, productive, and competitive. It also aims to transition our micro-establishments to the formal economy that is profitable, while also complying with our labor laws and occupational safety and health standards. There are different ways or modalities to avail TAV. First is the online method. Establishments can enroll in the self-paced technical and advisory modules through our learning management system. For establishments that opted to go with online, they must accomplish the modules within 1 month from the time they registered. Second is on-site. The DOLE regional, field, and provincial offices conduct on-site or face-to-face orientation for the technical and advisory services, wherein micro-establishments are invited to attend. Third is hybrid setup. Establishments can enroll in on-site sessions and attend virtual meetings or webinars using various online platforms like MS Teams, Viber, Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet.
Establishment owners carry a big responsibility to comply with labor laws, including submitting reports and providing documents like payroll records during inspections. But the manual filing process is a major challenge. They need to spend time, money, and effort to fill out forms and deliver them to the DOLE office, often dealing with traffic and delays. Sometimes, there's a long wait just to confirm if the report is accurate and complete. And it's not just employers facing difficulties. DOLE employees also struggle with limited manpower and the time-consuming task of reviewing and processing these reports. The time has come for change. What's required now is a more innovative, streamlined, and efficient process for handling compliance reports. One that will simplify life not just for businesses but also for DOLE employees. Welcome to the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, your all-in-one platform for seamless compliance submissions, designed to make compliance easier and more convenient for establishment owners. Telecommuting reports? Flexible work arrangement submissions? Reporting the 13th month pay? No problem. Even work accident or illness reports and the annual establishment report on wages, everything you need is now in one convenient portal. Plus, the DOLE Online Compliance Portal now includes the latest requirement for reporting movie and television shoots under Department Order 246, Series of 2024. All your compliance needs in one place, quick, secure, and hassle-free. With the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, registering your establishment is a breeze. Our automatic registration system ensures you are instantly compliant with OSH Standard Rule 1020. Once submitted, your certificate of registration is immediately available for download, saving you time and effort. Your establishment has been flagged for non-compliance during labor inspection. Don't worry. Required documents can be submitted quickly and conveniently. And if you're missing certain policies, like a mental health program or OSH program, we've got you covered with downloadable templates. Submit these documents directly through the portal, where DOLE inspectors will review, provide feedback, and keep you on track for compliance. With admin access on the DOLE online compliance portal, the labor inspectors can easily review the submitted reports and documents from the establishments. If further verification is needed, they can schedule an online meeting through Google Meet, all within the portal. This streamlines compliance checks, saving time and making the process more efficient for everyone. It's a smarter, more efficient way to stay compliant and keep your business running smoothly. Welcome to a new era of compliance, simplified, fast, and effective with the DOLE online compliance portal.
Isang mapagpalang araw po sa ating viewers sa Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Welcome po sa isa na namang makabuluhang episode ng Webinar Wednesdays, handog ng Department of Labor and Employment hosted by the Bureau of Working Conditions. I am Drowen F. Vargas and I will be your host for today's webinar. This Season 4, Episode 1, we will be tackling about DOLE's CSHP online system. But before we begin our webinar, let us start with a prayer.
Let us bow our head and put ourselves in the holiness of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear Almighty and ever-loving God, we glorify and thank your name. You have showered us with so much blessings, and your presence continuously remind us of your faithfulness and guidance. May we humbly ask you to shower our speaker today of your greatest inspiration, so that he may share the most of his knowledge, his field of expertise, and to his respective topics. May we also absorb the invaluable knowledge, experiences, and put it into practice that we may learn today. Your infinite blessing would mean the success of this webinar. May we be a living witnesses of your genuine love through the enactment of the knowledge acquired through this activity. We ask this in the name of your Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Hello po sa ating Facebook Live participants. Pakishare na rin ito sa inyong Facebook account and use the hashtag Webinar Wednesdays. You may also share this to your colleagues, friends, and families upang mas lumawak pa ang kanilang kaalaman about sa mga serbisyo at programa ng DOLE. For your questions or inquiries, feel free to use the comment section and rest assured that this will be addressed by a resource speaker after the lecture. So, we will now proceed with the discussion proper. Safety and health at construction sites are not just regulatory requirements. They are essential to ensure that everyone goes home safe at the end of the day. Kaya kaugnay nito, pag-uusapan natin ngayon ang isa sa mga mekanismo ng DOLE upang maprotektahan ang mga manggagawa sa construction industry. So without further ado, let us welcome our speaker for today's session, Mr. Joseph A. Ariola, Supervising Labor and Employment Officer of the Program Management and Technical Support Service Division of the Bureau of Working Conditions. Sir Joseph, magandang hapon po sa inyo.
Good afternoon, Owen. So let me share my screen. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome for today's webinar episode titled Construction Safety and Health Program Online System. This webinar episode focuses on the process of submitting CSHP through online. To begin, let me give you a brief background on what is CSHP and its legal basis. The legal basis includes the Labor Code of the Philippines as renumbered and Republic Act 11058 or the Act strengthening compliance with occupational safety and health standards and providing penalties for violation thereof. And implementing rules and regulations of this public act are Department Order 52 series of 2025 and Department Order 253 series of 2025. Section 22 of DO 252 or the OSH for the construction industry states that prior to the commencement of the project of all contractors and contractors should submit the applicable construction safety and health program or CSHP. So what is Construction Safety and Health Program or CSHP? It refers to a set of detailed rules and cover the processes and practices that shall be utilized a specific construction project site in conformity with the OSHS, including the personnel responsible and the penalties for violations thereof. So over the years, submission of CSHP was handled through manual paperworks, including receiving, evaluation, approval, disapproval, and subsequent issuance of certificates. Through the continuous effort of the DOLE to efficiently implement its program and services and in compliance of promoting ease of doing business, CSHP program is now moving towards digitalization or online. To access the online system, here are the general system requirements. First, you need to have a desktop or laptop or even mobile device, internet connection, and web browser such as Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, or Opera. The system can be accessed through the Online Compliance Portal or OCP at reports.dole.gov.ph through your web browser. Here are the features of the CSHP online system. First, online submission of project details and CSHP. Second, streamlined process of documentary requirements. And last, real-time tracking of submitted CSHP. Now we proceed to the walkthrough of the system. So, kanina nabanggit natin yung reports.dole. So now we begin to the, while we are typing in our web browser yung reports.dole, we will enter into a landing page. For this session, no need to log in po when we are submitting the CSHP. Just click po yung submit now. And then we will be redirected to cshp.dole.gov.ph. So makikita nyo po dito sa screen ninyo, meron yung view ongoing projects. Meron din yung submit now and verify submission. So to begin, umpisahan po muna natin yung how we can submit dito sa ating online. So i-click lang po natin yung submit now. And then we select the CSHP type. For this presentation, we begin dito muna sa residential or small commercial project directly administered by the owner or yung project owner mismo, yung magsasubmit ng CSHP nang walang pong contractor. Let's click po ito and then you will receive po muna a privacy consent notice to notify po yung magsasubmit na meron tayong i-collect na mga data and how we use your data and how we protect your data in compliance with Data Privacy Act of 2012. And then the consent notice, by submitting your information, you confirm that you have read, understood, and voluntarily consent to the collection and processing of your personal and sensitive personal data. So i-accept lang po ito, but if you don't agree, you can just cancel. But to proceed to the submission of CSHP, you need to accept po. So once accept, here we begin our submission form. So there are 4 parts po ng CSHP submission. Una, yung CSHP application where the details of the owner, project details are required to be inputted dito sa ating form. Second po, yung additional details. So later on, dadaanan po natin yan, and the construction safety and health program. And the last part po is the review and submit those inputted data. So to begin, sa part 1 po, yung owner's details, ilalagay lang po dito yung pangalan ng project owner and his residential address po. For this purpose, lalagay lang po natin ay mga default information. Her mobile number, and then her email address. Ito po, napakahalaga ng email address kasi po later on, once na nag-submit tayo, dito po tayo makaka-receive ng acknowledgement receipt na successfully nakasubmit tayo ng CSHP online. And then, next part po, yung project details. Dito po ilalagay yung pangalan ng project. So makikita nyo po dito, merong tooltip po as reflected in the drawing plan to be submitted to the LGU. So kapag magsasubmit po tayo ng online, CSHP online, dapat po naka-prepare po yung ating plano or blueprint ng construction project para yun po yung i-input natin exactly what is detailed doon sa ating plano. For example, 2-story residential building. And then, yung kanya pong address up to street or subdivision. Example ay Block 1, Lot 1, tapos Maligaya Street po. And then hanggang dun po. And then we select po yung ating region, province or highly urbanized city, municipality or city, and then yung barangay. Kaya po nakaganito ito following the PSA geocoding po. So for example, sa NCR po ang ating construction project, and then the province, whether it is 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th district. For example po, nasa Manila po ang ating construction project. So ang saselect po natin ay 1st district. And then the municipality, drop down po ito. For example, Intramuros, Manila. And then the barangay, drop down po rin. Pero per cities na napakarami pong barangay, you can use po the search button. Example po, 654. So lalabas naman po yan. Para mas madali po sa atin ang paghahanap, hindi na po natin kailangang i-drop down pa or i-select pa, scroll down pa pababa. And then for the brief description of project, for example po, 45 square meters, 2-story residential building. So ito po as reflected din po using the tooltip, summary of the details and scope of work. But for this purpose, we'll enter this po. Once na completed na po ang ating first part, we can just simply click po yung next. And then pupunta na po tayo dun sa second part, which is the additional details, which covers the number of workers in the construction site, project duration, and the activities to be undertaken. So dito po yung male workers, kung titignan nyo po yung tooltip dito sa kanan, the number of male workers for the project. So ibig sabihin ilan po yung dineploy natin na male workers doon po sa construction project na itatayo po natin. For example po, 10. And then for the female worker, 0. For the total po, auto-generate na po siya ng system. So ino-auto-sum na po kung ano po yung in-input natin na number of male and female workers. Next naman po, yung project duration. Ito po ay dapat ay calendar days. So, bibilangin po natin yan kung ilan yung estimated project duration natin. For example po, 365 days. And then for the estimated project estimated start date, so for example, February 19 ngayon, and then magko-commence ang ating construction project on March 19. So, i-click lang po natin yan. Pwede rin po natin i-type yung specific calendar date. But we recommend po na i-click na lang po dito to minimize the error. For the estimated completion date, automatic na po siyang kino-compute ng system based sa date start plus the estimated project duration by days. So makikita nyo rin po yan dito sa ating mga tooltips para hindi po tayo o para po mag-guide po tayo kung ano yung dapat na information na inilalagay po natin. So dito naman po nakalagay dito yung sa estimated completion date. For residential, it depends solely on the info from the owner. For other private projects and public projects, it is stated on the notice to proceed, building permit or other document stating the same. So next naman po, activities to be undertaken. So ito po, multiple select po ito kung ano yung mga activities to be undertaken during our construction. So nandyan po yung site clearing, excavation, erection, temporary electrical connection, installation. Pero kung hindi naman po yan part ng activities ninyo, hindi naman po kailangan i-check po lahat. Kung ano lang po yung identified na activities to be undertaken. And kung wala naman po dito sa listahan ng mga activities to be undertaken, pwede po natin i-click yung others and we can specify po yung specific na activity na wala po dito sa ating listahan. But kung wala po, alisin lang po natin. So once we complete po yung second part ng CSHP submission form, we can click na po yung next. Be mindful lang po na before natin i-click yung next na dapat po yung mga required field ay filled up po siya. Para malaman na required field po siya, meron po siyang asterisk na kulay pula. So hindi po tayo makaka-proceed kung hindi po yan filled up. So for the third part po, ito naman na po yung part ng commitment to occupational safety and health standards. First po, nandito yung hazard identification and control measures. Andito na rin po yung temporary accommodation and the commitment ng owner's responsibility, conduct of toolbox meeting, personal protective equipment para dun sa construction project, first aid and healthcare medicines and equipment facilities, workers' welfare facilities, working hours and break time, and construction waste disposal. So kung mapapansin nyo po, lahat po ito ay input-based na. Kung dati po ay previously ang submission po natin ay tayo pa yung nag-identify ng mga ganitong commitment based sa template, dito po ise-select na lang po ninyo, i-check na lang nyo po for the commitment po. So to begin po, dito muna po tayo sa taas sa hazard identification. So ganun din po sa hazard, meron na pong set of hazards na identified, ise-select na lang po natin ito. So one of the required field po yung physical hazard. So lahat naman po siguro na construction project ay may physical hazard. That is why required po ito. So una po nandito yung source and then identified hazard and lastly po yung control measures. So for the source ng physical hazard, there are 6 po identified including others. So for purpose of presentation po, una yung example meron tayong source ng physical hazard ay noise. For the identified hazard po, ito lang naman po yung identified hazard niya, exposure to noise resulting from the tools and equipment generating 90 decibels for 8 hours. So i-click lang po ito ng ating project owner. And then for the control measures, meron pong set of different control measures for that identified physical hazard. So i-click lang po kung ano dyan. Example, install barrier around noisy equipment. Paano po kung meron pa pong other control measures na i-install dito sa physical hazard? So what the project owner will do is to just click yung add pa yung physical hazard kung meron pa. And then babalik lang ulit dun sa noise na source. And then iselect ulit yung identified hazard. Then the control measures, example, merong regular lubrication of equipment para ma-minimize yung noise. So yan po yung example for the physical hazard. Paano po kung meron pa kaming ibang source pero hindi naman noise? Example ay temperature. So ganun lang din po yung process. I-click lang po temperature and then the identified hazard merong 4 po. So i-select lang po ito ng project owner. Paano po kung meron ditong dalawa? So same procedure po, i-click po muna yung 1 po, high temperature, and then your control measure. of those identified hazard. So one by one po ang pag-a-add natin ng source and then the identified hazard. For the physical hazard po muna ito. What if meron po tayong identified na chemical hazard? So same procedure po, i-click po yung add chemical and then the source and then identified hazard and then the control measures. Kung meron pa po na ibang source, you can just select po dito sa given na drop down. So dito po ini-streamline na po natin lalo sa pag-identified ng hazards po. So tinutulungan na po yung project owner na ma-identify ano yung mga source ng hazard and identified hazard based dito sa given list. So kung meron pong biological, i-add lang po, pero kung wala naman, you can leave it as blank. Ganon din po sa ergonomic hazard. Kung meron po or kung wala, just leave it blank. And then once na tapos na po tayo dito sa identification of hazard, ang next part po yung temporary accommodation. So in relation to Department Order 25253 series of 2025, so dito po siya papasok yung temporary accommodation and welfare facilities. So kung magpo-provide po tayo ng temporary accommodation and welfare facility, i-click lang po natin yung yes. And then we provide the amount allocated para doon sa temporary accommodation and welfare facilities. For example, 100,000 po yung inallocate natin. And then ito na po yung guide kung ano po yung dapat i-provide ng owner. So andyan po ang personal areas and communal areas. So for the personal areas, yung workers facilities, bed or sleeping space with a clean mattress. So yan po yung mga standard po na requirements kapag nag-provide po tayo ng temporary accommodation and welfare facilities. So ganun din po sa communal areas, nandyan ang water station, toilet, bathing facilities, laundry area, kitchen, dining area, first aid kit, communication facility, interfaith facility, recreational and social facilities, and designated smoking area po. But kung wala naman po tayo ipoprovide na temporary accommodation and welfare facility, we can just simply click po yung no. And then next part po, owner's responsibility. So dito given na po yung owner's responsibility, sinasabi dito kung ano yung mga i-enforce dapat ng project owner sa kanyang construction site. So be mindful lang po na kapag nagsasubmit tayo ng CSHP, given this commitment, dapat po ay ma-orient din po natin yung ating mga workers at dapat kung ano yung ginawa natin na yung i-enforce natin dito, dapat ay makascade po ito sa ating mga workers sa construction project. So what we suggest po is to print po itong mga ganito or you can just copy paste and then you create a CSHP po on your para po dun sa construction project nyo po. So you can just simply check po before you can proceed. And then the conduct of toolbox meeting, andito rin po yung dapat na gawin ng project owner. To this sample po, to discuss matters pertaining to the job, to provide briefing on the planned work, so on and so forth. So ito po yan. I-check lang po ng ating project owner. And then for the protective equipment, ito po yung dapat na i-provide sa ating mga workers na PPE. So andito po yung safety shoes, safety helmet, safety gloves, safety goggles, face shield, safety belt, or harness. Pero depende po yan sa operation po, work and operations performed. So guided naman po dito kung ano yung mga kailangan at ano yung saan siya paggagamitan. So the project owner can just check po kung na-understood naman po yung itong requirements po during the construction site, construction project. So next po yung first aid, healthcare, medicine, and equipment facilities. So commitment po ulit ito na shall provide the following basic first aid kit and healthcare medicine and facilities for the workers in the site. So nandiyan na po yung mga example po. So guided na po ang ating project owner. So i-check lang po ito. Ganon din po sa workers welfare facility. Kung ano yung mga specific na dapat following yung guide po dito. So i-check lang po ulit ng project owner. Sa working hours and break time, ito po, dapat yung workers entitled ng 15 minutes break in the morning and afternoon and 1 hour break for the lunch, for a lunch break. So, i-click lang din po ulit yung box. And lastly po, yung construction waste disposal. So, as a responsible citizen daw to support the preservation of Mother Earth, so you can just simply click po yung yes. So, paano po kung hindi po namin i-implement ito? Kunyari, hindi ko po i-check ito, tapos magne-next po ito. So, hindi po ako makaka-next. Wait lang po. Alisin ko po muna to. So, kapag nag-next po ako, hindi po ako makaka-proceed kasi po hindi ko po chinek yung construction safe waste disposal. So ito po yung binabanggit natin na required field po ito. Kasi part of responsibility po ito ng project owner. So click po yung next. So kung okay na po, dito na po tayo sa last part for the residential or small commercial project administered by the owner. So for the review part, tinutulungan na rin po yung ating project owner kung tama ba yung details na kanyang in-input from page 1 to page 3. So una po yung CSHP type. So dahil isa lang naman yung CSHP type dito sa part na to. So yan na po yan, automatic. And then the project owner, address, mobile number, and the email address. So dito po sa project owner, mindful lang po na tama po ulitin ko po, tama po yung nilalagay po natin na email address. Kasi po, ito pong email address na to, siya po yung makaka-receive nung acknowledgement na successful po kayo nakasubmit ng CSHP online. And then yung details po ng project, the location, estimated duration, estimated start and completion. So bakit po natin ginagawa itong review? Para pwede pong balikan nung project owner in the event na meron siyang typographical error, pwede niya pong balikan before i-submit. You can just simply click po yung back. But kung okay na po sa project owner itong details and correct naman po, meron po ditong commitment on occupational safety and health standards. So meron po ditong apat na sentence na kailangan pong i-commit ng ating project owner o yung magsasubmit po. So una, syempre, sin-certify niya na tama po yung information, true and correct, to the best of his knowledge and belief. Okay po. And nag-undertake po siya to comply with the provisions of the occupational safety and health standards and all other laws and regulations that may be applicable. Second po, responsible for any accident that will happen during the construction, especially for the welfare of the workers who are employed to perform the construction activities. And lastly, shall comply with the OSH and institute corrective measures found during the monitoring conducted by the DOL. So mapansin nyo po may nakalagay dito yung corrective measures found during the monitoring conducted by DOL. So kaakibat po nitong pagsasubmit natin ng Construction Safety and Health Program, bukod sa evaluatein po ng ating DOL personnel ang sinubmit natin, ay pupuntahan din po yan ng ating DOL personnel to validate po yung continuing compliance natin sa occupational safety and health standards during our submission ng CSHP. So, kung okay na po, i-click lang po na yung checkbox, and then submit na po. So once we have submitted successfully, ito po may magpo-prompt po dito na submission successful. Your CSHP has been received. Ito po yung note, all submission are subjected to validation of the DOL. You will receive an email notification once your CSHP is validated. So, ito po yung details ng ating sinubmit na CSHP. And then mapapansin nyo po meron po ditong reference number. Ano po ba itong gamit ng reference number? So kanina nabanggit ko po yung feature ng online na meron real-time tracking. So what you will do po dito is to write down yung reference number or you can just simply copy po yung reference number natin. And then pwede na po nating i-close yung notification na to. And then meron pong evaluation for the system. So you may leave a comment, suggestion, or compliment, then you can send. So once na okay na po, you can just send. And kanina, 'di ba, kinlik po natin yung kinapi po natin yung reference number. So ang gamit po noon, pwede nating i-verify sa system. Ito po yung second feature ng ating online system na pwede nyong i-track po, real-time tracking po ng ating submitted CSHP. So i-click lang po dito sa ating link po yung verify submission. Nakita nyo naman po yan, no? Sa baba lang po siya ng submit now. So i-click lang po ito and then ipipaste nyo na po or itatype nyo po yung reference number and then click po yung search. Once na na-click nyo po yung search, pansin nyo po, meron na po agad status na receive. So ibig sabihin niyan, successfully po na-receive na po ng DOLE yung inyong submission and then the brief description po nung inyong CSHP. And then nandito po yung information. Kung meron po kayong other questions or clarification on the submitted CSHP. So andito po yung office, Manila Field Office. Bakit po Manila Field Office? Dahil po yung ating construction project ay nasa Manila. So automatic na po yan sa system natin kung saan po papasok na field office ng DOLE, yung ating CSHP submission, sino po mag-e-evaluate na DOLE personnel, sa pong office, base po sa location ng ating project site. Okay po. And then naka-reflect na rin po yung kanilang office address kung gusto po natin magpunta. Pero we encourage po syempre dahil online tayo, pwede naman pong tumawag na lang sa contact number or also email them on their official email address. Ito po, updated po itong mga email address natin at contact number dahil kino-coordinate naman po natin yan sa different regional offices to update their contact numbers. So once na okay na po tayo, nabanggit ko po kanina na makaka-receive tayo ng email. So pupunta po tayo doon sa email natin sa inbox. So dito po, ito po for purpose of presentation, binuksan ko po yung aking Gmail na ginamit doon sa email address na in-input ko for the project owner. So makaka-receive po kayo, ang subject niya po ay CSHP application receipt. So i-click lang po yan and then lalabas na po yung information nung sinubmit ninyo. So sabi po dito, thank you for your submission. The DOLE acknowledged receipt of your CSHP submitted, yung date po kung kailan, today. The DOLE will review your submitted program to ensure its compliance with Republic Act 11058, Department Order 252, and other relevant laws and regulation. You will receive a follow-up email with the result of our evaluation. So kanina paulit-ulit po lumalabas yung makaka-receive daw po kayo ng email ulit kung ano yung magiging result ng evaluation. And then following po dito yung brief details ng ating sinubmit na CSHP. So ano po yung binabanggit ko na makaka-receive po tayo ng isa pang email on the evaluation po. So for purpose of presentation, let me show you po yung sample na na-evaluate na po yung CSHP. So ang subject po niyan CSHP application and then ito po yung nilalaman po ng email. So greetings, please be informed that the submitted CSHP with reference number, ito po yun yung sinubmit natin, na lumabas po na auto-generate ng system once we successfully submit, na na-receive po noong February 19, complies with the Republic Act 11058, Department Order 252, and other relevant laws and regulations. So, ibig sabihin lang po nito na receive po ang ating CSHP, na-evaluate na po ng ating personnel, and okay po yung ating CSHP. The implementation of construction activities may now be commenced po. The DOLE will conduct monitoring activities to check projects continuing compliance with labor laws, labor standards, including occupational standards, and other relevant laws and regulations. So again, inulit na naman po na ang DOLE po ay magkakandak ng monitoring. So lahat po ng sinasubmit natin na CSHP once po receive will be included po sa monitoring ng ating DOLE personnel in validating po yung continuing compliance doon sa sinubmit po natin na CSHP. Okay po. So, ganun po yung pag-submit for a CSHP type na ang construction project ay administered by the project owner or hindi nag-e-engage ng service ng isang contractor. So, wala audio pa. So, hello po. So, nagkaroon lang po ng technical glitch. So, going back po sa ating CSHB, pupunta naman po tayo doon sa part ng submission po na iba na po yung type ng CSHP. Example po, government, private, or residential project engaging services of construction firm o yung tinatawag po natin na general contractor or subcontractor. So once we click po yun, same ng procedure po doon sa residential kanina. Meron po ulit na consent, privacy consent statement na kailangan po nating basahin and in compliance po with Data Privacy Act of 2012. So if we agree po, we just click yung accept. So for this application form or submission form, iba po yung details na hinihingi. Kung kanina po, napakasimple lang po nung sa project owner, walang masyadong information. Dito po sa CSHP type na residential project engaging ng service ng construction firm, private project, DPWH project, other government agency project, more detailed po siya. Meron po siyang 4 na part. So ang unang part po, hinihingi na yung information ng general contractor. Pangalawa po, yung PCAB license or PCAB registration ng ating general contractor or yung magsasubmit ng CSHP. Hinihingi rin po yung information ng workers nung general contractor. So ato po, to be clear lang po, number of workers po ng general contractor, hindi po yung construction project po. Okay po. Kasi po ang hinihingi po natin dito is profile of the general contractor. And then kung mag-e-engage na po ng subcontractor during the submission of CSHP, nandito na rin po yan. So to begin po, sa first part po natin, ise-select yung CSHP application type. So for this purpose, ang ise-select po natin ay private project. So ang pangalan po ng construction project ay ng general contractor. So ito po for purpose of presentation and address po nung general contractor. The mobile number po nung company and then the email address po. And then hinihingi rin po information ng owner or president nung general contractor. And his/her mobile number. Also the email address of the owner po or president. Next part naman po yung PCAB registration. So dito po sineselect na lang po yung PCAB classification, category, registration number, and kung ano yung validity. So meron pong tooltip dito. So dapat po based on the PCAB license issued. So ang reference po natin kapag magsasubmit tayo ng CSHP online, dapat ready na po yung readily available na po yung ating mga dokumento kasi yun po yung magiging reference natin. So once na hawak naman po natin yung ating PCAB license, so doon lang po tayo magre-refer. Example, general engineering, yung classification. And then the category, kung quadruple A up to E po. So drop down select lang naman po ito. So for this purpose, triple A po. And then the registration number, input field po ito. So ilalagay lang natin yung number ng registration based dun sa ating PCAB license. And the validity po, for example, bukas po yung validity. Okay? So next pong part, yung number of workers. So nabanggit ko po ulit, ito yung number of workers ng general contractor, hindi po yung ating construction project. So example, 100 po yung worker. Tapos meron po tayong 20 na female. So automatic na po yung total. Isa-sum up niya na po yung total ng male and female. So nandyan din po meron pong tooltip dito na yung total number of male worker in the company. Ganon din po sa female. So kung mag-engage po tayo ng contractor, identified na po natin yung ating subcontractor sa construction project na i-commence natin sa pag-submit ng CSHP. So ilalagay na po natin kung anong pangalan ng subcontractor. And then the scope of work po, example po, excavation. And then yung project cost po for that scope of work. So example, 1 million po. And then ilan ba yung number of workers nung subcontractor? So ito po may mga tooltip naman po dito. So for the name of subcontractor po, dapat magbase po rin tayo sa nakapangalan doon sa pickup license. Okay po. And then yung scope of work naman po, identified dito, nakalagay, identify the specific scope of work to include the phase and other scope indicated. Kung ang scope of work po ay madami, you can just simply put comma and then ilagay po ulit kung ano yung ibang scope of work niya. And then yung pickup registration number, syempre po magbabase ulit tayo doon sa pickup license niya, yung dokumento niya po. So dapat before we enter po yung details ng subcontractor, dapat po hawak na natin yung dokumento o yung lisensya ng subcontractor na i-engage natin para mapilapan po natin ito. And then the validity. So yan po yung pag-add ng subcontractor. Paano po kung meron pa tayong additional subcontractor identified? So we can just click po yung add subcontractor pa kung meron pa po tayong subcontractor. Pero kung isa lang po, okay na po ito. Pero kung wala naman po, pwede pong i-skip na natin tong part. For purpose of presentation, example, wala po siyang subcontractor. So in-next niya lang po ito. So once filled up na po yung ating first part, pupunta na tayo sa second part which is the project owner details. So yung project details po, dito po include yung pangalan ng owner, pangalan ng project, and then andito rin yung project owner details, andito rin yung project duration, and then the activities to be undertaken. Kung mapapansin nyo, pareho siya nung form natin dun sa isang CSHB type which is the administered by the owner. Yan po yung binabanggit ko, may additional information lang na hinihingi kasi nga po nag-e-engage na ng service of a contractor po. So going back for the project details, yung project name. So example po, 35-story condominium. Okay po. And then saan po located? Kunyari block 1, lot 10, Maligaya Street. Yan po. And then for the region, ganun din po yung pag-input natin. Naka-drop down select po siya since nagbabase po tayo sa PSA geocoding. Baka po may tanong kayo dito sa part ng highly urbanized city. Sa categorization po ng PSA, inihiwalay na po ang mga highly urbanized city sa kanyang province. For example po, bibigyan ko po kayo ng example. Kunyari sa cart tayo, yung Baguio. So ayan po, napansin nyo po yung city of Baguio, nasa selection siya ng province kasi po considered po siyang highly urbanized city. So for purpose po dito, be mindful lang po sa magsasubmit. Hindi na po nakakategorize ang Baguio sa Benguet. So meron po tayong ilang highly urbanized city. I-check lang po natin dito sa drop down ng province/highly urbanized city kung naka-separate po siya. So may ilan po yan. Ito po yung example niya. So example po, City of Baguio. And then, syempre wala na po siyang municipality city kasi po, siya po yung city, yung Baguio. So NA po siya. And then for the barangay, ano po yung barangay under sa Baguio? Example po, Asin Road. And then estimated number of workers to be deployed in the project. So may tooltip po dito, total number of workers including those of subcontractors. So baka malito po kayo. Kanina po, kinuha na natin yung number of workers ng contractor. Kinuha na rin natin yung number of workers ng subcontractor. Dito po, specifically, yung deployed po sa project. So ito total po yan kung ilan po lahat ng workers, including ng subcontractor. Example po, si Gencon, may 10 siya. tapos si subcon may 10. So ang totality po doon dapat ay 20. So hindi po siya 10, 20 po lahat kasi yun po yung total deployed po na workers regardless po kung kanino po siyang empleyado, kung kay subcon ba o kay gencon. And the total project cost ng project, so ilalagay lang po natin dito. Example po yan po 10 million. Pero 100 million na lang po. And then next part po yung project owner details. Okay po, so for the project owner details, ang name of project owner ilalagay natin. And then his mobile number po. So dito po sa email address, napakahalaga po ito. Mailagay po yung tamang email address ng project owner. Bakit po? Kasi po, siya po yung isa sa makaka-receive ng acknowledgement receipt once successfully submitted natin yung ating CSHP. Katulad po ng pinakita natin kanina sa isang type ng project kung saan naka-receive po siya na acknowledgement receipt given yung kanyang email address. So ilalagay ko lang po yung aking example na email address. So mindful lang po tayo, makaka-receive po ng email address, hindi po yung kanina, kaya po hindi ko binanggit. Yung dalawang email address na pinilapan ng main contractor, ng general contractor, and the owner ng general contractor, hindi po siya makaka-receive na acknowledgement receipt. Ang isa po sa makaka-receive yung project owner and later on kung sino po yung nag-submit ng CSHP, which we will be discuss po later on. And then next po yung project duration, same po ng procedure kanina, yung kailangan ilagay yung number of days. Example, 365 days. Calendar po ulit ha. So ito po, magbase po ito yung number of days the construction project to be completed. And the date, estimated start date. So click lang po natin yung calendar day. So example po, March 19, next month po mag-i-start. And then the estimated completion date, automatic na po siyang kinocompute based sa date start plus the number of days or the project duration. Last part po nung page 2 natin, yung activities to be undertaken. So you can just select po lahat. Kung lahat po yan applicable sa inyong construction project. Pero kung may selected lang po, you may do so po. And then kung wala naman po, same po ng procedure, i-click yung others and then i-specify po kung ano yung others na yun na wala sa ating listahan. So once completed na po itong page 2 natin, you can just simply click next. And then pupunta na tayo sa third part, which is ito po. Sa ganitong type ng CSHP, nire-require po ang pag-input ng designated safety officer. So nandito rin po yung sa designated first aider and other personnel if more than 50 workers to be deployed in the project. Andito rin po yung heavy equipment to be used sa construction project and the attachment of CSHP for this type of construction project. So, pupunta po muna tayo una dun sa designated safety officer. So, una hinihingi po yung pangalan ng safety officer and then yung date of training niya. For this purpose, kailangan po readily available na yung certificate ng ating safety officer na ide-deploy sa construction project para po tuloy-tuloy na po yung pag-input natin ng information dito. Okay po. Nakalagay naman dito sa tooltip yung the date as reflected in the attached training certificate. So binabanggit po dito yung Bosch training niya. Okay po. So lalagay lang po yung date of training and then the certificate number. So nandun naman yan sa certificate. May mga specific control number po yan. Iba-iba man format pero yun po yung ilagay natin kung ano yung certificate number na nakalagay sa ating certificate. And then dahil malaki yung ating construction project, example, magpo-fall siya dun sa bracket ng 100 workers. So kung ano po yung required sa batas under Department Order 252, yun po ilalagay natin na specific na number of safety officer, pangalan, training date, tsaka po yung certificate number ang i-input natin. Pero kung isa lang po yung required based on the number of workers, so yun lang po yung ilalagay. For the designated designated first aider, ganun din po. Ilalagay yung pangalan, tapos yung date of training. Ang kinaibahan lang po niya dito sa safety officer, ang kailangan nating kunin yung validity period nung kanyang first aid training certificate. So example, ang validity niya 2027 ng February. Yan po. Then kung meron po kayong additional pa na first aider, i-click lang po yung add first aider. Okay? And then next part po, kung kailangan mag-employ ng OSH personnel dahil more than 50 workers yung deployed sa project, ang hinihingi pong information for the OH nurse, OH physician, and OH dentist, yung pangalan and the date ng training nila sa BOSH. Okay po. So, ito po ang tooltip na nakalagay dyan ay date issued of certificate. And then next po yung heavy equipment to be used in the construction project. Kung meron po tayong heavy equipment na gagamitin before the commencement ng construction project na kailangan i-input sa CSHP, i-click lang po yung add heavy equipment and then ilalagay po dito na yung name of equipment. Example po, tower crane. And then, inihingi po yung pangalan ng operator. And then, yung certificate number niya po, yung NC, National Certificate Number ng operator. So, ilalagay po yung number. Kung meron pa pong other heavy equipment, you can just simply add po yung add heavy equipment pa. Pero kung wala naman po at isa lang, so sufficient na po yan. But in the event na meron kayong submission, katulad ng mga maliliit lang na project na magpo-fall dito sa CSHP type. Example, small commercial lang siya na nag-e-engage ng contractor. Ano ba yung mga sample po nito? Yung construction sa loob ng mall. So, hindi naman nire-require ng heavy equipment. So, you can just simply leave it blank po. Okay? Ito po ay applicable lang doon sa gagamit ng heavy equipment na required po nating hinihingi ang information. And then sa last part po ng page 3, download construction safety and health program template. Meron po tayong readily available na template in the event na wala pa po tayong nagawang CSHP. But nonetheless, ito po ay template lang. So freely po ang ating mga general contractor na mag-devise ng kanilang sariling construction safety and health program following the template po, which is required po na dapat masundan. Kasi meron po mga CSHP, meron po mga construction project na mas detailed po kaysa dito sa nagawa naming template. So, ano ba itong template na to? So, i-check po natin yan. Dinownload ko po. So, i-share screen lang po ako ulit. Okay. So, ito po yung ating template ng CSHP na dinownload po natin doon sa online system. So, ito po pwede nang fill upan ng ating project owner or yung authorized representative ng contractor. So, ito po yan. So, kung meron po kayong mga idadagnag or dapat tailor-fit sa inyong construction project specifically, you may do so po na maidagdag po dito sa ating template. Okay, so once na okay na po yan, let me go back po ulit sa ating screen ng ating CSHP Online. So yan po, going back, so once na meron tayong CSHP na duly accomplished, dapat po naka-PDF file po yan and max file size po ay 10 MB lang. So, ito po, required po ito na dapat ganito yung format niya and the size. Kasi po, hindi po namin ina-allow more than 10 MB. In the event na ang na-save po na file ninyo ay more than 10 MB, ang gawin po natin, i-resize po natin siya to lower resolution para mas mababa po yung file size niya. And then, once we have comply with this, you can just click po yung browse. And then, pwede na nating i-attach yung sample, yung CSHP natin. So, antayin lang po nating ma-upload complete. So, we can, once na-upload complete na, pwede na po nating i-click yung next. So for the last part po, yung review and submit, meron po dito isang mahalaga na dapat tandaan ng ating mga magsasubmit na general contractor and the project owner. So dito po sa profile of the person who prepared the CHH program for the above mentioned project, ilalagay po dito yung detalye ng pangalan nung nag-submit. Madalas po ito na ang nagsasubmit whether the project manager or the safety officer. And then ilalagay niya po yung email address. Ito po, to put emphasis po, yung email address na to napakahalaga po kasi ito po ay isa sa makaka-receive ng acknowledgement receipt and the subsequent application status doon sa ating CSHP na sinubmit. Dito po sa email address na to, dito po mapapadala sa inbox po nito. So dapat po ay mindful tayo na tama po yung email na nilalagay po natin dito. Okay po. Kasi meron po kami mga issue na hindi daw po naka-receive. So ito po yung isa sa mga dahilan na dapat yung email address po dito ay correct po dapat. And then yung mobile number nung nag-submit na tao. And then next po yung review part na po nung brief details ng ating CSHP for the type private project and then yung profile nung kanyang general contractor and then the profile of the construction project and also the profile of the project owner. So once okay na po ito, pupunta tayo sa part ng ito po yung commitment ulit. So pareho po yan ng commitment kanina doon sa ating sinubmit na CSHP type na residential administered by the owner. So i-click lang po ito. But in the event na meron po kayong nakita dito na parang typographical error, you can just simply click po yung back para bumalik po dun sa page na yun. So don't worry po, encoded naman na po yung ibabak ninyo. Hindi po kayo mag-e-encode ulit. Hanapin nyo lang kung saan yung part na meron kailangan i-correct and then next nyo na po lang. And then hanggang sa makapunta po kayo dito sa port page and then you submit na po. So once okay na po tayo, you can just simply click submit. And then once successfully submitted, same po ng procedure, makaka-receive po tayo ng notification na successfully submitted po ang ating CSHP and then the profile of your submitted CSHP and the reference number. So ito po dapat i-copy po ng ating mga general contractor or project owner na magsasubmit ng CSHP. Copy po or pwede nyo pong i-type or i-write down po sa inyo para kapag babalikan nyo po yung inyong CSHP, makikita nyo po yung kanyang status. So once submitted, evaluating nyo po yung ating CSHP online. Kung natuwa po kayo, you can leave a comment, suggestion, or compliment. May 1 star po hanggang 5 star and then send po. Once na okay na po, pupunta po ulit tayo sa landing page. So punta po tayo sa verify ulit submission. So i-copy paste ko po yung submitted na CSHP reference number. Then we search. So once we search, lalabas na po yan. So current status niya ay receive. So ito pong current submission status, nagpapalit-palit po ito based sa evaluation ng ating DOL personnel. Pwede po kayong makakita dyan na assigned. Ibig sabihin po, assigned na for evaluation. Makaka-receive din po kayo dyan ng receive, pero kulay green po yung background. Ibig sabihin ay receive na po yung CSHP, evaluated na po. Or pwede rin pong rejected. Ibig sabihin po, may mali po doon sa sinubmit ninyo or may kailangan i-comply doon sa sinubmit po nating CSHP. So again, andito po yung simple description ng ating sinubmit na CSHP and saan po natin i-reach out yung ating, kung meron tayong additional question or clarification, saang office siya. So kanina nag-sample tayo sa Baguio. So Baguio Benguet Field Office siya papasok, tapos ito yung address nila, contact number, and then their email address po. Okay? So, last na po yung paano natin makikita yung mga construction project. Meron po dito yung view ongoing project. So, as we want to be transparent as we can, so pwede nating i-search yung pangalan ng contractor. Yan po. Lalabas po yung pangalan ng contractor. Ito, sa 1, lumabas si San Juan Builders. So kapag binview po natin yung ongoing projects, lalabas po yan kung ano yung mga projects niya. Okay po. So ito po, regardless po ito kung rejected or received, so lalabas po lahat ng sinubmit niya na CSHP. And then the location and also yung completion date. Okay, so yun po. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. And that's it po para sa ating walkthrough ng Construction Safety and Health Program online system.
Thank you very much, Sir Joseph, for that insightful discussion. I'm sure na marami rin pong natutunan ang ating tagapanood, and kahit ako rin po ay marami ring natutunan. Now, it's time for some question and answers po. We are now going to start answering the questions submitted during today's presentation. But you can still submit your questions through the comment section, and Sir Joseph will be happy to share answers and advice po. So, Sir Joseph po, our first question po is, may bayad po ba ang pag-submit at pag-evaluate ng CSHP?
For that question po, ang CSHP online submission at evaluation ay wala pong bayad. So kanina po, napakita ko naman sa inyo yung walkthrough na very convenient po siya na to your desktop, laptop, or mobile, even mobile device. Pwede po kayo mag-submit anytime.
Yan, thank you po, Sir Joseph. For our next question po, sino po ang dapat mag-submit ng CSHP online?
Ang mga dapat po mag-submit ng CSHP online, ang owner or authorized representative ng general contractor, katulad po ng project manager or safety officer ng construction project.
Yan, maraming salamat po sa inyong sagot, Sir Joseph. Next question po natin. Ano ang mga kailangang dokumento sa pag-submit ng CSHP?
Para sa directly administered by the owner na construction project, ang kailangan na ihandang dokumento ay yung plano or blueprint ng construction project. Kasi dito ka magbabase, kung naalala nyo kanina nung winokto natin, dito kayo magbabase nung detalye ng inyong construction project. At para naman doon sa ibang type ng CSHP, katulad nung nag-e-engage ng service ng isang contractor, or yung government project, ang mga kailangan yung ihandang dokumento ay yung, syempre, yung plano or blueprint ng construction project, yung PCAB license ng contractor, certificate ng safety officer at first aider, tapos nandyan din yung certificate ng OSH personnel. Kapag required mag-hire, base dun sa bilang ng workers, listahan ng heavy equipment at pangalan ng operator, kasama dyan yung certificate din ng operator. At syempre, yung soft copy o yung PDF file ng CSHP kapag mag-i-attach na natin o magsasubmit na tayo ng CSHP. Okay?
Yan, maraming salamat po, sir, for that very informative answer po. Next question po is, ilang araw ang processing ng evaluation ng CSHP after mag-submit?
Ang pag-evaluate ng CSHP, ang average po nito ay 3 working days after the submission. Syempre, excluding po dito yung holidays and weekends po.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Joseph. Ang next question po natin is, pwede bang pumunta sa pinakamalapit na tole at mag-submit ng hard copy?
Kung mapapansin nyo po, since nag-online na tayo, pwede po pumunta tayo ng pwede po tayo mag-walk-in at mag-submit ng hard copy. Pero meron po tayong mga focal upang i-assist po yung pag-submit ng online. Siguraduhin nyo lang po yung mga dokumento nyo na available ay masasagot yung nandoon sa submission form. So basically, pwede tayo magdala ng hard copy at i-assist po kayo para ipasok po yun online. Pero hindi na po re-receive ng hard copy ang ating mga regional office or field office or provincial office.
Thank you po, Sir Joseph. Sa sunod na tanong po natin is, ano ang dapat gawin kung magkaroon ng problema sa CSHP online system? Example lang daw is, naka-down my system glitch.
Para sa mga pagkakataon po na nagda-down ang ating online system, katulad nung sa online compliance portal or ang CSHP, ginagawa naman po lahat ng paraan ng Department of Labor para matakil po itong mga issue. kami po ay humingi rin ng patawad in the event na nakaka-experience po kayo ng inconvenience. But maaari nyo po itong i-report agad sa DOLE Regional Office upang ito ay magawan po agad namin ng agarang action. Makakatulong, malaking tulong po sa amin yun na mai-report po sa amin na mayroong issue yung system po.
Thank you po, Sir Joseph. For our next question po, kung ang submitted CSHP ay rejected, ano ang dapat kong gawin?
Para po sa mga rejected na CSHP submission, kailangan po kayo mag-resubmit ng corrected CSHP details. Ang mga rejected na CSHP submission ay may remarks po yan ng ating mga evaluator upang malaman nyo po ano po yung dapat i-correct.
Yun po. Thank you, sir. Susunod na tanong po is, kailan dapat at saan ako mag-follow up ng submission ko ng CSHP?
Kung pinalo nyo po kanina yung ating walkthrough, maaaring tignan ang latest status po na CSHP submission sa verify submission gamit ang reference number. Ang pag-evaluate ng submitted CSHP ay may average po na 3 working days. Maaari din tumawag or mag-email sa DOL office, DOL field office or provincial office na nakasulat sa verification submission details na pinakita ko po kanina.
Yan, thank you po, sir. Our next question po. Who is the project owner?
The project owner po ay ito po yung may-ari ng project site or yung nag-administer ng project po. So madalas po ito po yung nagpapagawa ng construction project po.
Salamat po, sir, sa inyong sagot. Sa susunod na tanong po natin. Okay, medyo mahaba-haba. Applicants are required to secure a screenshot and retain proof of submission generated from the official online tracking system. A status indicating received shall serve as confirmation of submission in the event of issues with email notifications and shall be accepted as evidence of application filed with the Department of Labor and Employment in compliance with the documentary requirements of the Office of the Building Official. Hi, ano po ibig sabihin nito?
Ibig sabihin lang po ito na pwede na po, sufficient na po na may screenshot nyo na successfully po kayo submitted dun sa system. Wala na dapat pong hingin po sa inyong ibang dokumento ng CSHP ang ating kung ito po ay sa office na building official po. Sufficient na po. Wala na po tayo, kung dati po ay paperworks pa po tayo na manual na meron pong stamp receive. Ngayon po since paperless na po tayo, sufficient na po yung screenshot po na nag-email po ang system ng Department of Labor to the CSHP online system at yun na po yung pwede nating ipakita na nakagawa po tayo ng CSHP at nakasubmit.
Thank you po, sir, for that clarification po. Next question po is, ask ko lang po, may access po ba tayo para makita yan online or ma-review online as SOs?
Ito po ay limited lamang para po doon sa mga nag-submit. So kung tayo po ay public at wala pong directing kinalaman doon sa pagsasubmit ng CSHP, ang kaya po nating tignan ay ma-view po yung mga ongoing construction project na nag-submit sa ating CSHP online. But given po doon sa ating walkthrough, yung reference number, ang meron pong access lang po doon para ma-view yung sinubmit niya ay yung pong responsible po sa pag-submit ng CSHP given na nasa kanya yung reference number.
Yan, salamat po, sir. Susunod pong tanong natin is, how will we know if the application has been approved by DOLE? Because no approved been stated into it, just received.
Pansin nyo po kanina wala na pong status po talaga ng approval or disapproval dito sa ating CSHP online. Whether it is received or rejected lang po ng ating evaluator na DOLE personnel.
Salamat po, Sir Joseph, sa inyong sagot. So, next question po natin is, okay, just to clarify po, yung project owner is yung contractor po ba or yung client or yung may-ari mismo ng project na gagawin? Kasi yung mga commitment and roles na kailangan i-ticket or i-select ay dapat i-provide mismo ng employer para sa mga worker na nagtatrabaho para sa project. And normally, si contractor na na-engage ni client ang employer ng mga worker ng project.
Yung project owner po, ito po yung may-ari ng construction project na directly po siya ang nag-a-administer ng construction site. Iba po ito doon sa nag-e-engage ng contractor. Kung nag-e-engage po ng contractor, ang contractor po ang dapat mag-submit. Pero kung hindi po nag-e-engage ng contractor, yung project owner po yung magsasubmit. So magkaiba po yung sagot po natin kasi depende po yan sa CSHP type na isasubmit po natin. Tama po kayo na kailangan i-provide yung mga commitment, yung roles, kung kanina po na napakinggan po natin na dapat po makaskade po lahat ng sinubmit nating commitment sa mga workers doon sa construction project by providing po orientation to them, and also kung pwede mabigyan sila ng kopya kung ano ba yung responsibilities ng owner para sa kanila po.
Yan, thank you po, sir. So, meron lang tayo ilang katanungan na natitira po. So, next question po is, what if mali yung nailagay na email? May edit po ba yun? O may edit pa po ba yun?
Unfortunately po, hindi po. Dahil kung ano po yung sinubmit natin, meron po yung verification process. Kung matatandaan nyo po, ay tinitik po yan na true and correct po ang ating sinubmit. Kaya po meron pong review part para tignan nating maigi kung tama ba ang ating sinasubmit bago natin i-click yung submit. In the event po kasi na mali ang ating email, wala po tayong marireceive. Ang mangyayari po dyan, either i-require po na mag-submit po kayo ulit para makareceive po ng email, or maaari po nating kausapin ng ating Dole Field Office or Provincial Office para dyan sa karagdagang katanungan po, at maaari po kayong matulungan.
Maraming salamat po, sir. Next question po natin is, good day po, sir. Ask ko lang po kung kailan po ang submission ng CSHP. Thank you po.
Ang pag-submit ng CSHP ay prior to the commencement po ng construction project. So dapat po nagsasubmit na tayo ng CSHP bago pa mag-umpisa ang ating construction project.
Salamat po, Sir Joseph. At doon po nagtatapos ang ating Q&A portion po. So maraming salamat po, Sir Joseph, at maraming salamat din sa lahat ng nag-submit ng questions. And syempre po, Sir Joseph, do you have any final reminders or thoughts to bring home that you would like to leave to our Facebook Live viewers?
Para lang po sa ating mga magsasubmit, ulitin ko po na ito po ay libre, walang bayad, at ang magsasubmit po ay project owner kung ito ay administer ng project owner, at kung contractor po, engaged ng contractor, yung contractor po ang magsasubmit. Wala na pong iba. Maraming salamat po.
Yeah, maraming salamat po sa inyong final words, Sir Joseph. So kung mayroon po kaming hindi nasagot ngayon, rest assured po ng aming social media team ay sasagutin ang inyong inquiries later on po. So, announcement lamang po, ang topic naman natin para sa susunod na episode of Webinar Wednesdays ay Understanding Monetary Benefits. For further inquiries, you may send us an email at ask@bwc.dole.gov.ph or call our Dole hotline 1349. Again po, please follow us at Dole BWC 1949 on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, and Viber to stay up to date with the latest announcements and activities from BWC and Dole. If you miss any of our webinars, please head to our YouTube channel at doon po mapapanood lahat ng ating #Webinar Wednesdays episodes po. I-share na rin ninyo ang video na ito sa inyong mga friends, family, and colleagues, at huwag kalimutang gamitin ng #Webinar Wednesdays para mas marami pang maging informed sa mga programa ng BWC, Dole, at kanilang mga attached agencies para sa kapakanan ng mga manggagawang Pilipino. On behalf of the Bureau of Foreign Conditions, maraming salamat po sa inyong pagkisa. See you sa ating susunod na episodes. Once again, this is Rowan Vargas, your host, signing off. Thank you po.
Para sa mga katanungan at karagdagang impormasyon, maaari po tayong tumawag sa Dole Hotline 1349 o sumuli sa mga Dole Regional o Field Office na nakakasakop sa inyong lugar paggawa.